Blackhawks and Wild drop the puck at 1 p.m., but we have goaltending injury news. All that coming up next on the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show. Hawks and Wild coming up at the top of the hour on a very busy, newsy Black Friday here at CHGO Sports. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boyson.
Why? What happened?
And Mario Tirabassi. I hope we have 9,000 people watching us.
Oh, yeah.
For the Laurent Brossoit injury update news.
Just cross over the stream.
That's the biggest news in Chicago today, right?
Streams. Can we do that?
Laurent Brossoit is the biggest news in Chicago.
Not advisable. As far as I know.
It sure is.
I haven't heard of anything else.
Well, I mean, we're the only ones here, so it must be.
Yeah. Did the Chicago Fire sign somebody?
It must have been.
It
must have been.
Right.
Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you've missed the news today, Blackhawks-wise, here it is. Laurent Brossoit, who had surgery on August 27th on his right knee, had another procedure this week. And earlier today, Luke Richardson spoke. We're going to hear from him in a second, and said cleanup procedure out about 6 weeks. The Blackhawks has since clarified that, said it was another arthroscopic surgery on the knee, and he will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. So a bit of a difference from what Luke says and what the Blackhawks sent. Obviously, the head coach is getting injury news kind of secondhand.
Sure.
Maybe not absorbing it as a journalist would necessarily.
Maybe.
But again, thank God Arvid Soderblom is playing as well as he is.
Yeah, I mean, this takes Brossoit beyond the Winter Classic and potentially beyond that. I don't want to say it's all completely lost season on him, but man, 6 weeks from now, like that's a long time to be on the shelf, and it's a reevaluation. I hope that he has good health coming out of this, but this is just a rough sledding for him. Thankfully, Peter Mrazek and Arvid Soderblom have been stellar this year. Well, for Soderblom, well above expectations. So it's rough news for Brossoit, but you just continue with the goalie situation that you got now and hope it continues.
Just real quick to clarify, a couple people like Sven in the chat says, good signing, I'm assuming sarcastically. It's important to remember this injury occurred after the signing was made. This happened during off-season workouts.
Yeah.
So it's not like they missed this in a physical or anything like that. Much like Artem Levchinov, the injury happened after he joined the organization.
Right.
So
yeah,
this is nothing the Hawks could have foreseen.
Yeah, this isn't like they signed Brossoit knowing that he needed a knee surgery. It's something that came up in August that he hurt himself before training camp. And I get people want to be down on Kyle Davidson and stuff, but that's not. You can't predict an injury like that in an off-season workout.
Right.
So, anyways.
Well, at this point, I'm not going to expect to see Laurent Brossoit play at all this season.
Yeah.
I mean, this injury has kind of really mucked things up because, as you mentioned, Arvid Soderblom playing great. He's going to play some more now, and now he's not going to be waiver exempt anymore. If and when Brossoit ever finds his leg and reattaches it back to his body, which at the beginning of the season, nobody would have batted an eye about Arvid Soderblom on waiver.
No.
The way he's playing now, and if he continues to play the way he's been playing,
Right.
you're not passing him through waivers. So then you have Mario wrote about it earlier in the week about, do you try and trade Arvid Soderblom? Now you don't have to worry about that immediately because
Well, yeah, you're not going to do it now, but
it's
yeah.
going to be 6 weeks to an evaluation. That tells me it's at least 10 weeks before he's even
probably,
worried about
yeah,
it.
and
At that point, why bother?
And let's keep in mind, too, the Blackhawks injury timeline since Luke Richardson has been the head coach has been very murky.
Right.
It's more or less like it's guidelines.
It's like 4 weeks. Wink.
4 weeks. From every time you ask me will be another 4 weeks.
He actually said wink, too.
And, well, the thing, like you mentioned, the difference between what Luke said and then what the PR department then relayed to us. We joke about Luke's updates. Let's be honest. Head coaches don't care about the injured players.
Yeah,
they're not there. They're not worried about
out
it.
Of sight, out
they're
of mind.
ghosts.
And he's not the medical staff too.
Right. So he's just like he probably just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. He's worried about the guys that are there.
Yeah.
And so are the guys in the room. Like, hockey players are such weird creatures of habit and superstition. Like, once you're hurt, guys don't even want to talk to you because they're like, nope, you might give me some of what you got. Like, you're forgotten.
Yeah.
Not forgotten, but you're just like, you're not here right now.
You're out of the loop of the group.
Yeah, we're focused on what's in the room. When you come back, we love you, but until then, we're good.
Right.
We don't want to catch any of that
Boy.
6-week knee injuries.
I wonder with Brossoit and Soderblom's situation. So 6 weeks from now gets you to mid-January. If, let's say, Brossoit is good to go, good to return to the ice after 6 weeks, that gets him basically end of January cleared to play. This guy hasn't played hockey in, at what, 9 months at that point? Close to?
At that point, you send him to Rockford.
Yeah, I think
he'll clear waivers.
He would likely clear waivers. I would imagine. If not, you put him down on a conditioning stint, and that gives you 2 weeks to kind of figure it out from there.
That's what you got to do.
But your best bet is to put him down in Rockford to figure it out, so long as Soderblom's still playing at the level that he is.
And if Soderblom reverts to knock on wood,
what we've seen of him,
if he reverts to last year's Soderblom, then you don't have to worry about it. No one's going to claim about that.
Right.
But what is the real Arvid Soderblom? Last season or this season? It's probably somewhere in the middle.
I think it's 2 seasons ago.
I
think that's the real Soderblom.
Because last year was awful.
Yes,
this
really
year
bad.
is outstanding. How can one guy be both?
Yeah,
somewhere in the creamy center.
Creamy center. Sounds good. Nice. What neighborhood is that? The creamy center of Chicago?
I don't know.
In the center?
All right, how long is Luke? I failed to look at this up.
6 minutes?
About 6 minutes.
Yeah, that will take us right up to the break zone. So why don't we hear from Luke? Here's what he had to say pregame, not just about Laurent Brossoit, but about the game in general.
Same lineup as last game. Peter's starting, and that's it.
Peter's last 5 games, the save percentage it's been even taken off from what he was. Any changes or anything you've even noticed in him lately that's done better?
No, just dialed in. He's been solid all year, and a little bit more goal support. I think by us he'd have a better wins-loss record, but he's doing his job, so we got to pick up our end of the bargain here and try and help him out in the win column. But you know what? I think he's just athletic goalie. He's seeing the puck well. I think we're doing a better job as a team, helping out in front, but we still can be a little bit better on some grade A chances and keep those numbers at a minimum. So, he doesn't have to over-activate too much, because he's playing a lot right now.
With Soderblom's I think it's been 10 days or so. Is it the schedule just played into where you're able to play Peter a little bit more?
Yeah, and Peter's feeling healthy, so that's a big thing that we keep talking to him even yesterday, just to make sure that his health's 100%. But we got lots of games coming up here in the next little push here, so Arvid will be getting in there shortly and getting a couple more reps in the next few weeks because of back-to-back situations or 3 and 4 nights. So he's been playing well too. So we're comfortable with our goaltending. And just an update on Laurent Brossoit. He's had another procedure just to clean up kind of after the first one. So unfortunately that kind of set it back. Probably another. We don't have a full timeline, but it'll probably be around 6 weeks.
Obviously, it's been kind of a tough, stretch here for him. Yeah.
I'm sure he's really frustrated, but I think the key is to kind of look after it now, and that was the right decision. So we'll just have to be patient.
I was looking through the numbers from last season, and you guys, I think that those negative 84 goal differential until like 5-5, and this year it's -1 through over a quarter. I mean, what do you feel like has changed? I mean, it's a pretty big change.
Well, goaltending's been excellent. That helps, but I think special teams has been good. You know, I mean, both sides of it. The power plays, getting on the board, and the PK has been pretty solid. But I think just you know,
I mean, those are just 5-5 numbers.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, even I don't know if that accounts even for 6-on-5 numbers, because that happens probably 8 or 9 times this year already. But I think we're just more competitive. We're more depth in our lineup. So I think the veteran group has done a really good job of honing down on our systems and sticking to them and making sure everybody's accountable, and that makes it easier for the coaches.
It feels like you prevented more odd man rushes this year, too.
Probably, yeah. I think we're doing a better job of keeping to our structure, and we're not losing that F3, and that'll be tonight. Will have to be like that because this team's a really good rush team. So we got to make sure we're helping the defense. We can't have 3-on-2s and 4-on-2s all night, or we'll be in big trouble.
Everyone talks about identities. Do you feel like this team's found theirs yet?
I think we're still working towards it. I think we're getting better in a lot of areas, but I think you know, I mean, that's great. But I think we can go even further. And some of these closer games, I think we can flip the page and come out on the win side. And I think when we do that, I think the guys will see the difference between winning hockey and non-winning hockey, and I think that's our structure, and we have to play it 60 minutes. Can't be 59 minutes, because if we're in tight games, just like the Winnipeg game early in the season, that could cost you at the end. So we just got to be sharp, and I think we're getting to that point where we're finding what some combinations on either special teams or even 5-on-5 what works. Because we have a lot of new players here. Sometimes it takes a little time to figure that out, and I think it's starting to settle.
That felt like one of Mikheiv's better games, maybe?
Absolutely. I thought he's a competitive guy. He can really skate. You know, he's got some chances, and hopefully he can get a little bit more offense out of him. And I know he gets frustrated when he doesn't score, but he's getting the chances, which is a great a sign of a player playing well.
The play through the penalty, and they get that assist on the goal, and just I guess some of the things that maybe he's capable of.
Yeah, no, he that was a beautiful setup for Grevy's first goal, and you know, I mean, I think his speed is dangerous, and that's what the league is built around now. So it was a great move to pick up a guy like that. It's been very helpful for our penalty killing, but in all situations, especially with Dickinson's line, I think does a great job when we put them out there against top lines.
The small sample size, but it seems like Grevy maybe taking a step since last season.
Yeah, he's a calm guy. You know, I think he can get a little more vocal. He's not a loud guy, and I think as a defenseman, that'll really help him take the next step, using his range and you know, he's so big with his reach that you know, using his voice to help his partner and his teammates and himself out there is just going to add him to the list as another big defenseman that you can rely on.
How do you pull, I guess, calmness out again?
You know what I mean? I think you just can't. It's repetition, and I think playing with guys like Marty and Murph, who are vocal out there, I think they get more comfortable. They see it, and they see how helpful it is, and then they get used to doing it. But it's just reps. It's reps for a young defenseman.
Doing this all without Seth, I mean, usually in the past it's been more troubling, but anything you feel like as a group they've done better without him this time around?
Well, you know, I mean, it's some of these guys have had more experience now. So, you know, Kaiser's been around a little bit more. You know, Allen and Krabby are probably the lesser of the experience, but you know, you add Marty in there, so we'd like to have them both in there at the same time, but we lost Marty early in the year with injury, and now Seth. So once we get them both back, if we can just keep our heads above water, I think that'll really help. But Murph's been great. He's played really well. Vlasi's obviously taken a big step, and he's got more experience than some of the other guys, so that helps. I think the little bit of experience. I think last year around now we had 5 young guys playing in the lineup, and that shows. And there's no one for them to lean on because there's no veteran presence to play with, because you can't have one guy play the whole game with all the young guys. So I think that's the biggest difference this year. We've stayed a little bit more healthy, and it doesn't load you down on the back end with 4 or 5 young guys at one time.
That is Scott Powers featuring Luke Richardson, courtesy of the Chicago Blackhawks. It is now time to light the lamp with our presenting partner, Coors Light. In his last let's start that again. In his last 10 games against the Minnesota Wild, Teuvo Teravainen has 13 points. So Teuvo Teravainen is our choice to light the lamp. And when you're making your choice to choose chill, there's nothing better to do it with than Coors Light. Perfect accessory when you're choosing chill, and it was right there. I had the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the rolls, and the Coors Light for my Thanksgiving dinner last night, and it was absolutely perfect.
A lot of carbs.
Mm-hmm. Those are some blue mountains right there to offset my perfect Thanksgiving plate, and hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and it was chill. If it was, probably because you had Coors Light at your table. When you drink Coors Light, you know it's going to be as cold as the Rockies when those mountains turn blue. So when you embrace the chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door right now, probably by Puck Drop, with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. One more little thing on the Brossoit note. 9 days ago, I asked Luke Richardson if there had been a setback. And while he didn't say no, he certainly didn't say yes. So we have that ready to go just real quick. It's short. This is November 20th. Has there been a setback with Brossoit?
I don't think there's a setback right yet. I don't have any new updates on him, unfortunately. And, the good thing is Sodi's played well for us this year, and it's letting him have the chance to not rush back. So, hopefully soon we can give you more of an indefinite update timeline.
A lack of eye contact in the answer.
He hasn't suffered a setback yet.
Right. Yeah, I guess it was too soon to call it a setback.
That was some serious foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel bad for the guy. Like, I know, these guys want to play. They're prideful. And nothing is more frustrating than an injury then followed by a setback. Yeah. He's got to be chomping at the bit to get on the ice and play. And
he was coming off of an awesome season as the backup in Winnipeg, and there's a lot of excitement and expectations from him coming into Chicago, and then just haven't been able to get on the ice. Sucks.
All right, today's game. Let's take a look at the lines identical to the last game. Your top line is Bedard, Hall, and Kurashev, Donato, Bertuzzi, Teravainen, Dickinson, Mikheyev, Foligno, Reichel, Maroon, and Smith. Your D pairs are Vlasic and Murphy, Kaiser and Martinez, and Crevier and Brody. Peter Mrazek starting in goal. Obviously, you're not going to change anything after a 6-2 win.
Yeah, it's not broke. Don't fix it.
We've been screaming to keep the Lions together for weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what happens today, play these lines again on Sunday.
Sure.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't hate that. And it's good to see Louis Crevier get another game. I know Luke talked about him before the game, kind of getting into the mix and having guys like Alec Martinez available to kind of learn from, and TJ Brody to learn from as well. So it's good for him. I know we're all fans of Nolan Allen and feel like he's been playing well enough for a rookie in his first year and stuff, but good to see Crevier get his first goal, get a chance to play again. So see what he can do tonight.
Well, the Nolan Allen stuff kind of got lost in a shuffle of, Wednesday's big win. It's kind of a celebratory post game. We didn't really talk about it very much. And I think that it's probably not the worst idea when you've got two young defensemen playing pretty well to give them a rest now and again. And we heard from Korchinski, we heard from Bedard, we heard from a lot of guys after last season saying, boy, that was my first full pro season. That was a grind.
Yeah.
And it really, by the end of the season, I was out of gas.
Right.
So giving a guy a game or two off, if you feel good about the replacement, I've got no problem with that with the young guys.
Yeah, it was kind of what Kaiser the day in Philadelphia, and then Allen, they didn't lose in Philadelphia because Kaiser wasn't in the lineup, and they didn't beat the Stars solely because Louis Crevier was in the lineup, though he had a goal.
5-2.
Exactly, 5-1. We're not counting that Duchesne goal.
Right, of course.
But, giving the young guys a chance to take a step back, while they're playing well to all of our eyes, the coaching staff knows what they're looking for. And when you're talking about Luke Richardson and Kevin Dean, almost 2,000 NHL games at that position from those two guys, they probably have a little more idea when they see something where they go, okay, a little concerned about that. Let's pull you back, work on that, or just give them a rest. Because, Nolan Allen played in the AHL last year, but the AHL schedule is nothing like the NHL schedule. AHL, you essentially play every weekend. You have a sprinkle of one, maybe midweek game. So you're playing 2, 3 at most games, and either they're all at home that weekend or it's a 90-minute bus trip.
Right.
Or if you are going a long way, you just go to that city for the weekend, play back-to-back games, come back.
You'll see 3 and 3.
Yeah, the Ice Hogs are doing that this weekend, but it's home, Milwaukee, Rosemont. Not exactly a strenuous travel.
You can sleep in your own bed in Rockford each night if you wanted.
But it's a lot more practice time in the AHL than the NHL. Where the NHL, it's like, okay, on a plane, we're going here. Yep. Okay, on a plane, we're going here. Like and I'm sure that's a grind. And we saw it last season with Bedard running out of gas, even missing all those games, and Korchinski was just not the same player by the end of the year because you just get it's a grind.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I mean, when hockey players admit that to you, that it's something. And a lot of people in the chat saying they'd rather see Nolan Allen. Yes, we would too. But in the context of, hey, let's pace these guys a little bit. No use in burning them out.
82-game season.
Because after the deadline, you might trade Alec Martinez. I don't think anyone's going to want TJ Brody, but you never know. So these guys are going to have to play more.
Yeah.
So now is the time to give them rest. Nolan Allen will be back in. He has not been surpassed by Louis Crevier in terms of being a prospect. Don't read more into it than it's a
had
rest.
the unfortunate incident of being scratched in a game. The Blackhawks won 6-2.
Yeah.
So you're not going to change the lineup.
I wonder when when Seth gets back, you'll have
4 weeks.
You'll have Seth back. You'll have Alec Martinez back in, which their injuries kind of like overlapped with each other. But I wonder if Crevier will actually be the one that sticks around if he's here the whole time, or if they'll do Isaac Phillips again and let Allen then, because he's basically been up here because they started the season with injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder if then he'll go down to Rockford, which I assume would have been the plan for the most part for him this season, and then have like Crevier or Phillips around, because I think it's safe to say they don't value their long-term development process as much as some of the other young defensemen.
Yeah, Phillips and
Crevier.
Yeah.
But I wonder how that'll shake out, or if they'll keep Allen up as the 6th, 7th guy all season.
These things always seem to have a way of working out. We were wondering these same questions 2 weeks ago when Alec Martinez came back, and then Seth Jones got hurt. We didn't have to worry about it. So we'll see.
Well, hopefully no one gets hurt.
Yeah, but
be done with injuries.
Lots of hockey left to play this season. So giving a young guy who hasn't gone through the grind yet a couple of days off here and there is not the worst idea in the world.
Got a super chat we got to hit up here before we play Who's Your Hawk. Saw that one up there from Brother Seamus. Says, for $2, hallelujah, Eber loser gone, and Bedard is the GOAT. Okay.
Cool. Thank
Sweet.
you,
We do have a lot of
Seamus.
people from thinking they're watching the Bears show,
Yeah,
so we'll take it.
If you're looking for the Bears show, I don't know if they're still going, but
I'm sure they are.
They might still be
We'll
going.
hit the like button before you.
Bear show
This is the
about firing
Blackhawks show.
Eberflus. They're going to be on the 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
They're going until they hire a new coach.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're going to be on the air
Waiting for
until
the
next Sunday's kickoff.
Waiting for the white smoke to rise up. But yeah, hey, good thing he did his press conference this morning as if nothing was wrong.
Hey, the Bears, if the Bears haven't shown anything, they do not know how to properly manage time. So,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's for sure.
Just,
I'm glad they did it. Throw that idiot out there one last time and let him eat it. Then we'll fire his ass.
Let's see what he says today. Still a moron. Yep, he's fired. That's it.
All
Good
right,
strategy.
long show. Let's do some Who's Your Hawk.
Well, hey, before you Bears fans leave for the Bears show, hit that like button. And if you're staying for the Hawk show, we love you too. Make sure you hit that like button for us and subscribe to the YouTube page. Of course, we'll be back on after the game. So now it is time for Who's Your Hawk. And as I am back in the lead, I get the last pick.
Back in the lead for now.
Yeah, I took Connor Bedard because we can now.
Now we
He
can.
scored last game, and lots of guys in the chat saying that he's going to have a big game today. I hope so.
That'd be nice.
You know what? The monkey's off his back. I know he will never admit to playing into it, but you know he gets into all these guys do with the rivalries, but the Faber-Bedard thing, you know he's going to want to put up 2 with Brock Faber on the ice today, especially in Minnesota. So Connor Bedard is going to get me right back into it today.
That'd be nice. I would gladly
welcome it.
accept that from Connor Bedard today. I went with Tyler Bertuzzi. He had a good game last game. I hope he continues to roll that into this game. Maybe a 5-on-5 goal today. How about that?
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
nice.
miracle.
mentioned in the
nice.
interview, the Hawks -1 in goal differential at 5-on-5.
Yeah, this team is so frustrating because they're last in the NHL, and yet they've only been like blown out of like 1 or 2 games. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, there's a lot of, if you go through the schedule, a lot that look worse because of empty netters.
Yeah.
All right, I picked last, and the last two games I have gone against my gut because I usually my first thought is this guy. I'm gonna go with someone else. My first thought today was Taylor Hall, so I'm going with Taylor Hall.
Good idea.
Staying with my gut.
48 hours.
Got me this far. Yeah, exactly. So Taylor Hall is my pick for Who's Your Hawk. I know it's going on in the Discord. So get your picks in there, and we'll reveal the Discord winner too. It's always fun to play along.
It is.
Yeah. For the Wild, it is Marc-Andre Fleury in net.
Blackhawks legend.
And they was a bar down maybe yesterday. It shared a graphic like how old these players were when Marc-Andre Fleury made his debut.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard, not born yet.
Yeah.
No. His debut was what, 03?
That sounds right.
Towards the-
Yeah.
yeah.
So
He was first
he was
overall
number
in
1
the-
overall pick, and then was in the
03
NHL
draft.
like right away.
Yeah. Pretty
That
much.
was
Which is crazy to think about at this day and age.
was Eddie Olczyk still the coach there?
I believe he was.
When he debuted. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that would have been the
Eddie
2003-04
Affirmative.
Pittsburgh Penguins. Yep,
That's
they
crazy.
Went Fleury, Malkin, Crosby in 3 straight drafts.
Those are 3 pretty good drafts.
Yeah, that'll get you 3 Stanley
Thankfully,
Cups.
they also went Jordan Stahl in that one draft instead of Jonathan Taves, because then it would have been 4 straight drafts.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? If they had-
No,
if
I
they
don't
had
want to
Malkin,
imagine.
Crosby,
Third line
Taves.
center, Jonathan Taves.
Yeah, that's
God.
horrible.
Also for the Wild, Brogin and Lauka will miss the game. Future Blackhawk, Kirill Kaprizov is in. So
He's
it should
in.
be a good one. But it's fun, when Marc-Andre Fleury, these days you're like, that's 3-4 goals, hopefully.
Maybe
We'll see. I mean,
it'll be an
Wild's
adventure no matter what.
The Wild's goaltending has been really good. A lot of that, Gustafson's been good, so we're missing him today. But that's kind of what's been. It's been Kaprizov and the goaltending is why they have a 14-4-4 record. They're like one of the best teams in goals allowed per game, but they don't score a ton, and they're not great at special teams. I think they have like the 26th ranked penalty kill in the league. So try and get another one of those early power play goals to set a tone here.
Yeah, and score
That'd be
17
nice.
seconds in again. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. Reminder, everybody, it's Black Friday, and that means everything's on sale at our store, store.allcitynetwork.com. Up to 75% off sale items, 30% off the entire store. Take advantage of those great, great deals. You see some of the designs on your screen. We also have some brand new designs, kind of like the old school collegiate designs. And there's some college-specific shirts, Wisconsin, Michigan, Northwestern. Pretty much everybody but Notre Dame is in our store right now.
As it should be.
We got the Big
Big
Ten.
sales.
Big Ten is represented. All the former Pac-12 teams out there with PHNX are represented. You can get all your Colorado Buffaloes, DNVR stuff too. Store.allcitynetwork.com. Hit it up. Get all your friends and family all the clothing and merch you want.
And that Coyotes gear is part of that 75% off deal. So get some Coyotes gear dirt cheap. Looks great. The PHNX Coyote stuff, collector's item. And people believe that the Coyotes will be back someday. So we'll see.
Deactivated fan.
I'm
Ready to be activated once again.
Yes. All right. We'll talk to everybody after the game right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.